Thank you, Adrian, and welcome everyone to our second HP Dev Meetup. My name is Didier. I'm the tech lead for the HP Dev team. Together with me in this session is some members of the team, Fred and Denis. They will paste links in the chat for you when I talk to you about some of the things we do with that community. So this session is entitled Streamlit, the fast way to build and share data science apps. And I'm really happy to have Arnaud with us today from Streamlit. Before I hand over to Arnaud, I'll just have to get a few housekeeping items to remind you that we are doing meetups on a monthly basis. We already had a session on Quarkus last month. This month is with Arnaud on Streamlit, but next month we're going to talk about vfunction. And in April, we'll have a session on a CNCF project called Open Policy Agent. And we'll have the Determine AI folks coming to us for meetups on Determine AI, the open source project, as well in May. So that's for the meetups. And but we also run another program that we started last year called the Munch and Learn, in which not only we share munchies, but also we do share knowledge and technology trends. And we have a session on Mithril. It's an open source project pushed by HPE on securing and introducing robust identities into Istio using another open source project called Spiff Aspire. So all of these have dedicated pages on our website. You can take a look to find the registration links for the Mentioner and the meetups. And also, this is where you can find the replay links. We have replay links available, let's say, within a week after the event. So we'll update that page. Another one thing I'd like to mention is we provide also a feature that you might find interesting if you don't know about it yet. So I'll just spend 1 minute on that, which is something we call the workshops on demand. So workshops on demand is a way you can teach yourself or you can learn about technology using a Jupyter Notebook-based experience. These are available on the internet, available to anyone, free of charge, 24/7. So give this a try today. If you look in that URL, you'll find that we have 25 workshops available, some on open source technology, some on HPE technology. Give it a try. Provide feedback to us. That's always good to know. And finally, I'd like to say that this is a community, so we'd like you to help amplifying and contributing to it. There are some easy ones that you can do. Invite others to join our talks. And we have dedicated event cards for this. Invite and join the monthly newsletter. So this is a newsletter we ship every month and with information relative to the community. You can also join and invite others to join our Slack channel. We have a dedicated Slack workspace, sorry. And you can join with the slack.hpdev.io URL. You can follow us on Twitter if you're more on that Twitter. If you want to do more, we are always really happy to get contribution in terms of blogs. We have a way for you to contribute into blogs and to basically get a blog up and running or published in a couple of weeks, let's say. Technical blogs, of course, for data scientists and developers. You can, if you're a subject matter expert on a given meetup, we'll be happy to have you speak about that subject. And finally, you can help us provide more workshops on demand if this is something that you'd like to build. So there are several ways you can contribute. Don't hesitate. Reach out to us. You can take a quick scan of this code that gives you all the links. I think Denis also cut and pasted all the links, but basically everything starts in hpdev.io. Take a look and you'll find everything there. And with that, I won't take more time, and this is all yours now, Arnaud.
Thanks a lot, Didier. Hi, everyone. I'll start sharing my screen. Cool. Right, can you all see this landing slide?
Yeah.
I hope yes. Okay, great. So hi everyone, it's a real pleasure to be talking today at the HP Dev Meetup. Today I'm going to introduce what is Streamlit. Streamlit is for us the fastest way to build and share data science apps. So I'm very excited to show you how that works. First, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about my background. I'm Arnaud. I'm French. I was trained in Switzerland, and then I've worked as a data scientist in a few different areas in the legal tech, also in a hospital. More recently, I was also an instructor in data science and machine learning. And through these different steps, I've always wondered if there was a better way to share my work with not only like any end user, but also my stakeholders within these organizations, or even with my students when I was an instructor. So eventually, as I was super fan of Streamlit, I've joined them, and I'm now working within the Streamlit team in the data science and machine learning team. I'm emphasizing here that I'm remote based, but to be fully honest with you, I'm based in Grenoble, and Grenoble is a special place. I mean, for people from Grenoble, HP is actually a special place because as you can see from this picture, there was in 1975 an office that was open in Grenoble, and we even had the honor to be visited with Bill Hewlett and Dave Packard, which I assume you know. Maybe another one that you don't really know, I mean, I wouldn't expect you to know, is Hubert Dubedou, who was our mayor back in time. And so I've grown actually hearing a lot of people telling, I'm working at HP, I'm working at HP. So I'm very excited to be talking with you today. From what I know, we have a large audience today. It's a mixed audience. I would love to do a round robin and ask you what you're expecting from the conversation here, but I guess we're too many to do that. But I'll just say, I think if you're anything related to like data science, software development, and just if you enjoy seeing web applications, I think this will be just fine, and we'll have a great time. So let me step back now and tell you more about what is Streamlit, what's the story behind Streamlit. It all starts with the usual data science project. I hope you're familiar with that, but we're, as data scientists, often starting projects with Jupyter notebooks, which are these super pleasant places where you can run Python code or any other language code interactively and really do exploration there, visualizations. And the problem is we love that so much that it can happen that a data science project just stops there. And the problem here is that a Jupyter notebook isn't really the thing you want to share with your stakeholders if they're not too technical, because you're going to have a lot of code there. And also they're going to have to install Jupyter on their laptop and everything. So it's not perfectly ideal. So it's too bad that the project ends just on this support. But okay, it's not exactly the end. You have other tools and other ideas in mind. So you're going to do something more. You're going to say, okay, I'm rather good at Python. I can hack something with a Flask app, which is a Python library to run a web server. And you've sometimes seen some HTML code. So you're going to also craft some templates and run a small web application on top of that code. So, okay, it's looking a little bit hacky. It's going to be hard to scale. So it's not ideal yet. And if you need to do anything more now, you're kind of stuck. So once again, it's the end of the project, which is too bad. Okay, you have a third and final shot, because you're super lucky. You're in a great and at least furnished company where you can ask to the actual, what I call tooling team, or let's say just some competencies within your company that can help you with web-based development. So you can go there and actually ask them for help to make your data science project into a web application, because that's the best way you can ever share something. Like anyone with a computer can browse the web. And so you wanna expose your work on a web application. So you're gonna ask the internal tool team or this web team to help you with that. And they're super organized, but also they're super busy. So you're lucky if they have bandwidth to help you, but if they do, they're gonna ask you for specific like wireframes, layouts, some specs, and it's gonna be super clean, but it's probably gonna take a lot of time. And also, as time goes by, data science projects have a life cycle, very specific life cycle where the first minute you're going to show your work to your stakeholders, they're going to ask for more and for different things. And so you're going to have to iterate so much that it's going to be very slow to work in this specific framework. And so, yeah, this is again, not really an ideal solution. And this is what I call falling into the unmaintainability hole. So this time it's really the end. You have no other solution to help you with. So the moral of this story is that sharing data science work with others is hard. I hope that people, I mean, I don't really hope it, but I can imagine that people in this audience also experience that. It's hard to do that. And if you step back, it's not just my personal data science work that is at stake, but it's hard to spread the data knowledge of a company, of an organization to others. And as you don't share any knowledge about the data, it's going to be even harder to just go into actions and have your stakeholders take action-based decisions, data-based decisions, sorry. So that's, of course, when the hero comes in, and Streamlit is here to help you. What is Streamlit? Streamlit is a way to connect data science to the rest of the company. The idea is that it's going to be your companion to build web applications in Python. It's an open source library that's going to help you building a lot of different types of apps. In the end, they're using the same kind of widgets behind. So you can build monitoring apps, you can build prediction tools, you can have detection apps where you're showing how a machine learning model works. And this is all done with very little amount of code, so that you can actually deliver these apps in days or even hours. We're going to try actually today to build ones, even two maybe. So we're going to have to honor this promise. So that's how you can then let your company work with all of this data. So the way it works is really going from a Python script to a web application. It's really top to bottom, just like a script. You're going to write some code that is doing some data processing, like you're collecting the data, you're then doing some stuff with the data, and what you're just going to have is this Streamlit API to surface some of the information you want to show as a like front end thing with inside a web application. We're going to see how that works. And typical widgets we have are these ones where you can, with a simple Streamlit command, create a front-end component like that, where people can actually play with your web application, and you're going to get the variable within your Python script, so you can then update anything they're going to see based on their selection. So it's just really helping you with not having to do JavaScript, sort of. And we're covering like so many use cases where if you want to just have a date input or a color input, or pick a file, like upload a file, this is going to be super easy for you to craft this type of component widget. And the good part is, of course, it benefits from the whole like Python ecosystem, where you can still have your PyTorch model running behind, or plot something with Matplotlib or with Plotly or whatever, Alter. So it's just a Python script, so it gives you a lot of freedom. To tell you more about Streamlit, it's working on 3 core principles that we can isolate. So as I've already said, there's this part about embracing Python scripting. It's really gonna be about a script. And then the front end is actually gonna pass you the information through Python variables. So these widgets will be Python variables. We're gonna see how that works. And And Streamlit is actually every time a viewer, a user of your app is going to play with a widget, so the value behind will change and the script will be running again. So obviously it would be a terrible idea if the web app would always reload your machine learning model every time someone was playing with whatever widget. So Streamlit comes in with easy way to cache your data and also computation. So we're going to see how that works too. Just a small illustration. It's really top to bottom. You just write something in your Python script and you'll see your app being reflected. Now, if I was having a slider widget, you can see that it's assigned to a Python variable called x. And then I can use later on this variable that the user is playing with to change the results that I'm displaying. And the third principle is reusing data and computation. So we're going to have Python decorators that are going to indicate that this is going to have to be instantiated only once. For example, it's useful for a database connector. And so that's the singleton. And we have also the MIMO, which is a way for you to cache your computation results. So here is just a very simple example that's going to connect to BigQuery. We use that, for example, and you can pass in secrets for your BigQuery service key, and also run arbitrary SQL commands then, and that will be cached. So if you run twice the same command, you won't run the actual computation twice, but just once. And yeah, you can then connect to your data. We have you covered with actually a lot of stuff in our documentation, but as I've said, it's Python. So you can basically connect to any Python package that's out there, or just run arbitrary requests, HTTP requests if the API is not properly in a Python package. And once you've got the basics, you can go crazy. We have a lot of things out there. You can organize your apps in different layouts. You can use custom themes if you want to have different colors. We have a default styling, but you're more than free to just use a custom one. And we also have something interesting in terms of like community, and because the package is open source, there's this components part. So I'm going to go and open this this window, and the components part in our website streamlit.io is introducing some extensions that actually open source contributors have created. It's like, see it as Python bindings for great JavaScript libraries. So it's not properly things that were developed inside Streamlit, but they're like extensions. And you can see many interesting things, like this one is a way for you to very easily add image cropping within an image component. So you can basically do data annotation within your Streamlit app very easily. This one is just a component to enable people drawing in a canvas, and like some extensions that supports Folium, which are useful mapping libraries in Python. There's so much out there you can see in natural language processing or video processing. I'll let you have a look if you're interested. I think if you have questions, you can put in the Q&A, of course, and we'll have some time at the very end. I'm just excited to go to the demo now and actually show you how it works. Right. So this is the kind of application that I want us to develop together. So it's a simple computer vision app that's going to enable you to, enable your users to upload a picture and see how the machine learning or deep learning model can predict something out of it. So one example here is I'll load a file from my laptop here. And what it's going to show is, okay, it's saying what I've uploaded, that's the picture. And then you can see predictions for two models here, which are VGG16 and MobileNet. So these are famous deep learning models that can be found on the Keras deep learning library that you can load for free. These are computer vision models that you can use. And so what we're going to do is try to do this very same app together. So I'm going to quit this one and go back to HPE. Okay. Here we are, and I'm going to start coding from a new app that's going to be this live.py. Okay, import Streamlit as st okay, cool. So now you see we're in this setting where I can start playing with Streamlit commands, and this is my app. All right, and if you click always rerun, you're gonna have the web app always reflecting what you're putting in the Python script, which is super convenient. So I'm going to give you a very quick tour of all the widgets we have at hand. So as you've seen, you can just write some basic text here. You can also put it in just in a string like that. This is a shortcut to write some text. And it's going to be displayed here as well. And you have many other way to do it. If you wanted to show some code formatting, it just looks like Markdown, right? You can add some Markdown commands here, some formatting here. So you can do some Markdown. We also have LaTeX, sorry. If you wanted to frag 1, 2, as you can see. So you can basically write anything you wanted to write here. Some other styles will be, here is a small text, for instance. Okay, it's in caption, so it's going to be smaller. And what is good about it is that you can also add some interactivity. So that's what we call the actual input widgets. And some example of that is for ST button. Press me. Let's do that. You're gonna see a button appearing here on the front end. I can press it. You see that the app is running, but nothing's happening. So I need to actually put a variable behind that, which I will call just button. And then if button, I'll write something. If I now update, click press me. Once you press the button, you have the thing being displayed. So something like maybe cooler will just have balloons. So if I press the button, I'll get balloons. And you have many such like widgets. For example, the SD checkbox is like optional ticking box where you can say, for example, remove duplicate entries in a data frame, whatever. That will be my checkbox. It will look like that. And you can say if checkbox, then I will do my necessary code to do the exact thing that the checkbox says. So we have a lot of them. As I said, there's the color input. Choose a color. Sorry, maybe that's not color. Picker. Choose a color. We have file uploader, which is the one we've seen. Upload a file is the label. You can say, I just want to have PNG. And you're going to have a component where people can now upload PNG file. And you'll be able to process it afterwards. Yeah, we have so many things there. Actually, I'll let you go in the documentation to find more ideas. We have things about writing. We've seen them. We have a lot of things about text elements to properly split your content. Then you can display tables and data frames. That's an interesting part, where you can get a pandas data frame and then just embed it in your app so people can browse it, and you can have 10,000 rows. It's okay. It's gonna work, and people can look at your data. Also, we're gonna format JSONs very nicely into this foldable thing where people can explore your data. You have interactive charts from Matplotlib or Alter, Plotly, Boki, a lot of them. So let's start now crafting the very.
Before you start, Arnaud, there's a couple of
Yeah.
questions in the Q&A. You want to take a look at it? Or
Yeah, sure. I can have a look.
want me to
I can
read
have a quick look. Can you go ahead and read them? Yeah.
Sure. So there's one question that says, are various stages of data science organized?
Oh, yeah. So that's a very generic question about data science project organization. I mean, that depends probably on a lot of companies, but that's not a satisfactory answer. I would say it's very special now at Streamlit because the way our data science team works is really, of course, oriented towards using Streamlit apps as the ultimate support for any study that we're doing. So there are different types of work that we're asked to do, more exploratory work. For that, we'll just, as if it was a notebook, but we're actually doing some data exploration in a Streamlit app and surfacing data to our stakeholders so they can play with the data and get a good feeling of what's happening. And it's more like an ephemeral, for example, app that will help just unlocking what's in the data. But then once stakeholders are aware of that, we're going to have proper specs to define what they want to have as a Streamlit app output, and do they want to integrate our work somewhere else? Do they want to download files? Do they want to filter with this or that specific widget and this type of thing? So yeah, there's the first exploration phase, and then there would be the actual app building phase, which is more like spec, I would say.
Okay, and there's another question about how can this work with existing frameworks such as React, which we are using quite a bit in HPE?
Yeah, so you can imagine that this is primarily headed towards people that will code in Python and unlocking them to build interfaces very quickly. If you think, I mean, for me, it's always covering my needs, but if you have additional needs, that's also why I was showing this components part here, where if you have like actual React or JavaScript knowledge, you can add functionalities so that people can also use your React components within this Python library, but it's primarily headed towards people that will code in Python.
And there's a last question for now. Does Streamlit also cover deployment of models into production? Packaging up a existing model into a microservice and have it integrated into whatever the customer workflow?
No, so that's not currently what we're offering. We'll be more than happy to help you building any app related to that machine learning model or deep learning model, but we're not hosting it. It's more a way for you to make your stakeholders aware of the model and how to play with it, but we're not hosting the model weights.
And do you actually have, yeah. Sorry, another question that is maybe more on things you have shown so far is around the control of the layout of the page. Can you put widgets side by side, control the size, these kind of things?
Yeah, of course. So here you can, for example, have two left, right columns. This is the basic one, but you can say, okay, I'll do two columns and I'll say width left, st right, hey. So now you're on the left column, but if you wanted to say something on the right column, you'd say right. So now it's on the right column. And actually, there's something very nice as well, which is the sidebar. It's also a way for you to put things here. So you have something maybe there where you want to put the controls, or depending on how you want to put your app. But yeah, we have columns, we have sidebars, we also have expanders. So if you're interested, if you want to hide something, click to expand. More. Click to expand and you'll see more. So yeah, we have a bunch of like layout options that are described in documentation in the API reference. Feel free to go and have a look there.
Another one, what's the best way to handle multiple users on a Streamlit app?
So handling multiple users is a rather vague question.
The question.
Yeah, I mean, something that's anyone visiting an app will have the same experience for now, and they will have their own way to play with the app. Like someone playing with the app on their side will not impact how the other will be playing on their app. The widgets are all like separately handled, but something that's going to be deployed very soon is a way to, from the app developer perspective, change the way the app looks based on which user is signed in. So that's a product we're adding for the paid option, where people can we can just check if the user is an admin, for example, admin user, and we'll provide, for example, more widgets for them to have maybe some write and overwriting permissions or stuff like that. So we're going to be able to display things differently based on the user.
Can you also display based on the device type, like mobile, tablets?
So this is already responsive. I mean, we're controlling the UI from the open source project, so we don't have really to care about that. But I mean, you can always go crazy and say, I want to have custom things, and say, we're not exactly saying you should do it, but there's this part where you can write actual HTML code. So I'm just doing anything here. But you can actually write here custom HTML or custom CSS as well, as long as you're ticking this unsafe hello HTML equals true. So yeah, you could actually have different HTML or different styling based on the device using this trick here.
There's a last one. I'm not sure I get exactly the question, but they are asking if there's any use case where this is exposed in Salesforce community. But I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What you could do is connect to your Salesforce data and build some app around it, and something that, for example, Salesforce doesn't show you. You would be able to collect the raw data and then do that specific app using Salesforce data with Streamlit. That would be a way, but we're not integrating inside Salesforce.
And would you showcase in your demo, if we give you time, to show one inference example?
Yeah, exactly. That's where I want to go.
Okay, so let's try that.
Yeah. All right.
The other ones for later. Thanks.
Awesome. So I'll just remove everything and let's start again with a blank app. It's now blank. So what I wanted to do with you was this computer vision app, if you remember. So it's quite basic. You can upload a picture and then run a prediction from a deep learning model. So let's try and actually build that together. So first thing is adding a title. So computer vision app. Cool, it's there. And we wanted to enable the user to do a few things. We wanted him to upload a picture. Upload a picture in different ways. So the options are from file, from webcam, and from URL. Okay, and if you remember well, that was in the sidebar. Cool. Nice. And so we want to assign this to an actual variable, so we can really change the layout based on the information. So upload type, say. Okay. So if upload type now, if the user chooses from URL, for instance, what I'll do is I'll do a text input saying, hey, please paste URL. So now if a user selects from URL, they can add in and paste a URL of a picture. And this I'll put into a URL variable. And once you have a URL, you can say, oh, I want to actually get the content of that image. So I'll do requests.get URL content. And that will be my image content. So let's see what that does. If I just do that, we'll do that together. I'll take a random parrot image here, paste the URL. Okay. Feels like they don't want me to give you a clean demo today. So let's just do it again. Okay. I know, I think I know, okay. I'm not doing the great way. Okay, so this is not actually, this is like image bytes, so it's not properly the thing you want to display. Okay. Copy. Oh, and then you can say st image bytes. Rerun. Okay, here we are. So the problem was that I was actually trying to write the actual bytes value, which is not a really clean way to do it. Pardon me. So what you want to do instead is just call the image bytes. So here is, for example, how to get an image from the URL widget. So what I'm going to do is actually say image bytes equals known. I'm going to initialize that. And okay, so that was how to get it from a URL. Now, if the upload type is different, for example, from file, sorry, I'm gonna say st file uploader upload file. So now if I rerun the app, you can see that if you've chosen from file, you can now open and upload a file. And the way you're gonna get the actual value of the bytes behind is just saying, oh, if there's a file, again, I want to get my image bytes from file.getValue. Okay, rerun. Because now if we do if image bytes, st image bytes, if I upload my peacock here, you can see that now it's being displayed. I've found it from the file. And the last one would be if upload type equals from webcam, which is also something we're supporting. You would have webcam equal st camera, take a selfie. Okay, and if webcam, same thing would be webcam get value. So now let's start over. If I go to the webcam, you can see I have my webcam working. I can take a picture. And now I can show image bytes again. I think I removed it. And it's there. So now I can do anything I want with this image bytes. And what I want to do is actually run a deep learning model. So let's do it now. Run predictions. Cool. If image bytes, I said I wanted to show the image bytes. Actually, what I want to say is also, if there isn't anything, please upload a picture first. Okay. And you can see that now I'm in a situation where I would like my app to not display anything before a user has uploaded a picture. So what I can do is just say, if there isn't any image bytes being defined, I can just say st.stop. So nothing below that will be run. And I'll need the user to input an image first. Cool. And now if they do, you're going to be able to see it there. And now this thing is going to be running. And so what we want to be running now is the models, the deep learning models. So I've just some useful functions here in this models.py file. The whole code will be available on the repository, of course. It's just a way to import the Keras deep learning models. So as you can see, I'm loading from applications like VGG16 or MobileNet as pre-trained models. So I'm going to import this one, which is just a constant that will give me the useful functions to load these things. So from models, import supported models. Okay, what's there? Supported models. Cool. And then I can go and say select maybe select box, choose the model, and I can do supported models that keys. So now you have that the user can choose what model he wants to use, he or she wants to use. And we can get the necessary methods. So there's load model, there's pre-process input, and there is decode predictions. These are useful things from Keras to just make sure that your image respects the original image space from these models, actually from the ImageNet dataset, if you're familiar with that. So that's now supported models. Model name, values. Okay. And so now what I can do is just load my model, right? And what you can see is it's loading VGG16. It's been rather fast. And the super great part is that we've included in load VGG function this caching decorator that I talked to you about before. So this means it's a singleton. It will be run only once and then never again. So it's just a good way to load a deep learning model on your web application. So now I have my image. What I want to do is I have my model. Sorry, I want to take my image and put it into the model. So this is never as easy as just a one-liner, but let's do it. You just have to first convert your bytes to array. I have my bytes here. Okay. And we have an additional function that's going to prepare my image. So what it does is just use the proper dimensions in TensorFlow and also use this Keras preprocessor to normalize the image pixels and everything. So this is just standard computer vision. And you can do image array. So that was the preprocess. Prepare image, sorry. Prepare image. Okay. Prepare image array. And it's missing this function here as an input. Okay. So you can see as I save, I can see if my script is working. It's actually a good way to explore. And then now I'm going to predict from my image array. And I want to see the results of that. Whoa. So you have this thing, which is a vector. It's not really what you want to show to an end user. It's just a vector of size 1. So for example, if you were to just put it like a transpose way, you see that it has a lot of probabilities, but that's not ideal to show. So Keras also has this decode predictions. That's useful. I'm going to put that as a function, prediction model. Yeah, prediction, and then I'll just decode prediction so that okay. Nice. And if you're aware about pandas now, I can put that in a data frame. I just need to import pandas. Cool. Okay, so this is like more user-friendly data. So what you can see is it's actually showing the top 10 predictions for this model. So the model is just trying to find what's in the picture, right? The major class that's in the picture. So I'll put that as a data frame with a name that will be cleaner. And so that one is, the first one is like an ID, second one is a label, the third one is a probability. And I'm gonna write prediction df. Nice. So, I mean, that's, you can see now that how fast it is that if I were to choose now another model, so the Peacock is found by VGG16, that's a great news. But there are weird things you could discover if you were to look at all of these available models. For example, that MobileNet is seeing a window screen here with 43% probability, which is rather bad. And if you were to try from the webcam anything, actually, let's take this bottle of water. I'm gonna hide and put it here. Let's see what it says. Okay, VG16 is finding that pretty well, but MobileNet seems to be rather off. So this is like a way, as you can see, it's, I'm gonna put that on the top. This is really like a 50 lines of code app that's doing like a lot of things, taking pictures from different ways and then running a machine learning model and also saving that into cache. So that's really, really cool. And if you really wanted to compare the two models, actually, you would maybe say, I don't need the user to choose the model. You could just say model names are just these ones. I don't want the user to choose. I just want to show them all. Okay. And now for model name, in model names, just do all of that. Yeah. Okay, and now you have them. You have them here. You can say predictions for model name. So it's even cleaner. And if you wanted to have them side by side, as we've said earlier, you could have left, right equal st columns 2. Actually, let me just say columns and enumerate here so I can have an index. And I can just say with columns index. And now I just put it like that. And how convenient is that? You now have your two models running side by side with the prediction. So it's very easy to compare and see whether one model is better than the other. Here I can let you judge that the water bottle is probably better. And the best part is now you're ready to deploy this app to the cloud. So you can click deploy this app, and actually you're gonna land in our Streamlit Cloud product, which is a way for you to deploy your apps on the web. You can see this is the exact same app, and you can share it with your domain or with public people, like with everyone. You have a lot of ways to monitor how your app is working. You can add secrets. You can do a lot of things there. And yeah, I mean, that's what I wanted to show you. Let me go back here to the slides. That was the demo. So we've seen a lot of things about the widgets that are at hand with Streamlit. So a lot of buttons, checkboxes, camera inputs, and there's a lot remaining if you're interested. We've also seen this machine learning app demo where you can really compare two different deep learning models, and the inference time is super fast. So, and it's just 50 lines of code. And yeah, deploying your apps is so important too. So we have this portal now, Streamlit Cloud, where you can just add in a repository and a Streamlit file, a script, and we'll just spawn your app on the web so you can share it with your colleagues and also anyone if it's a very public app that you want to showcase. You just want to showcase your skills or your latest model, you can do that too. And that's happening on Streamlit Cloud. If you're interested, that's the link. And also I wanted to emphasize that we have a lot of inspiration. You can go and check out our gallery, and there's so much you can see there about what's possible. I mean, it's just Python, and then you can do a lot of things. So yeah, very happy to answer more questions. And just remember that if you want to play with that, it's just pipe install Streamlit and then have fun.
Thank you, Arnaud. Yeah, there's a lot of questions in there.
Oops.
If you want to open the Q&A window, I think it'd be faster than if I just read them all for you.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
answered some of them. Do you see the Q&A window in the?
I'm trying to find it.
It's in the Zoom toolbar.
Okay, let me see. Do you mind? Oh, okay, now it is. Sorry.
Got it?
Can I use Streamlit? Yeah, okay, awesome. I'll start with Hannady. Can I use Streamlit for more than one script? That's exactly right. You can do that. We're going to land the multi-page apps, how we call them. If you have multiple scripts, they all belong to one app. So yeah, definitely, yes, you can do that. Then Aaron, can we build live charts with data coming in from a folder or a data source? That's exactly the intended purpose. Obviously, you can load files from your local hard drive, or you can just collect from an API from your BigQuery connector. So yeah, you can definitely do that and update your charts or time series in a live manner. Yeah, you can do that. About the CI/CD, so continuous integration, continuous development, what we're doing currently internally is just you can have GitHub actions that spawn the app as like a staging app, just like if you were a web developer. So you open your pull request, you have a staging app based on the branch with which you're working, and so people can check if the app is still working after your changes. So that works perfectly well. Where do we host the application? So it's just, as you've seen, like the open source project is a way for you to deploy an app. Now, I mean, to create an app, and if you want to deploy it, you're going to have Streamlit Cloud to help you with that. And if you want to do it your own way, you can also. It's a web server, but we're offering Streamlit Cloud as a way to do that, to do exactly that. I can't see. Oh yeah, okay, it's there. Can we host it in cloud like Heroku? Yeah, Heroku is an option. As I've said, you can use anything. It's just a web app, but Streamlit Cloud is definitely a good candidate too. Hosting them and updating them it's automatic. As you've seen, once you commit your changes, the web server will be reflecting your changes just in a live manner. How do you scale it horizontally? I think I've shown the columns, which is a way to do it vertically. Yeah, so yeah, maybe there's a way we can talk about that later. authentication. So yeah, we're having authentication for Streamlit Cloud users, where people can only connect if they're on your domain. So yeah, I think the answer is yes. We have authentication there. Does this public page stay available? Yes, of course. If you've seen the link, or I will share it again. Of course, you can go and play with it, and the code will be also, like, of course, public. And there's in the gallery, there's so much you can just visit and take advantage of. So yeah, and that also answers the question from Raul. The source code will be available. The app is available, but the source code is just like in a few minutes. I'll just put it available for you guys to play with it.
All right, really good. In the meantime, I also put up the end of session poll, because we're running out of time. Thank you, everyone, for, I think we went through the entire set of questions. You did a great job with that demo. That was incredible. Thanks a lot, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Arnaud, for this really good session. With that, I think we're going to close the call.